don't have anything to say.
It must be raining outside, isn't it?
What do you mean? It's January.
Exactly.
Exactly?
When does my woman have nothing to say?
Look, it's just 2 weeks.
14 days. Mama, 14 days, 14 nights.
You make it sound like it's going to be a whole year.
Do you see how big our house is?
I live here, you know.
1 bedroom, 1 toilet, 1 bathroom, one everything, 1 babe.
Look, my mom is coming for a church conference. Unataka ende kulala kwa hizo hotel cheap aki?
We can find her a decent hotel room. I mean, which is cheap, affordable and clean. I mean, she can visit anytime but not live here.
My mom in a hotel. Na tuko na nyumba hapa.
Okay, then let us stay at my folks. It's far but we can.
So you know they're not buddy with her?
It's better so that they can sort out their differences. See, it's not that I don't want mom to stay here.
I know.
We will move to a bigger house with a detached SQ. Then we can host as many, as long as you want.
I also know that your culture does not allow in-laws to...
Away with those cultures. I mean, we are in the 21st century.
Thank you for accepting my people as your own.
Yeah, my in-laws. I love them. But your Uncle Titus doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, Uncle Titus. Do you remember what he called you during the last family get together?
How can I forget? Oh my goodness, that I'm an uncircumcised boy.
Or something like that.
Wow. Because I refuse to buy them alcohol.
Uncle Titus for you.
So today, Lexi cannot imagine her mother spending in a hotel. Does not matter how spacious their house is. William, on the other hand, is not budging. Her mother-in-law is not coming to stay with them for a whole 2 weeks. To some, in-laws are a thorn in the flesh, but to others, they are a joy to have around. Our discussion today is to unpack their place in our marriages. We had a lot of fun the last 2 episodes that we decided that we must have them back again. They don't need any introduction, but however, if you are the one who's not caught on the 2 episodes, by then you can go back and visit those 2 episodes. Amazingly discussions that we had over there, and you can really benefit from them. But let me allow them to introduce themselves. But this is what you're going to finish with. A quarrel that you had at that time, it was such a big deal. And you're looking back now and you're saying, really? Why was I arguing about that? Why were we even fighting about that? I mean, then it was a big issue. It was a source of huge conflicts. But right now, you're looking back and you're saying, was it a big deal anyway? Good. So we start with who? Yourself.
I don't remember any quarrel.
Remember, any fight we had were both there, so it applies.
Is it
No,
applies?
I was not there. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Pastor David Ewagata. Yes. Married to this amazing lady called Rose. Ukiona mtu kama huyu, you cannot have conflict.
At all.
Why are you arguing with her? She can have up to 3/4 of the kingdom. I think the big conflict that we had actually comes on this area of in-laws. When we got married, we stayed with my mom because she was supposed to get a transfer over the holidays. We got married in March. So by the time we come back from our honeymoon in April, she would be on her way to, she was getting a transfer to the village because she wanted to now settle. Last born ameoa sasa unafanya nini Nairobi?
So the arrangement was that she was to leave us the house. Yes.
Oh,
So this is the house where he
I
grew up.
okay.
So the parents were like, now that I'm going
To
the
the
village,
village. You should
The house is here.
This is here. It's affordable. It's near your. It's conveniently placed in terms of location and rent and everything. Yeah.
Wacha niweke gwere.
Mliporudi.
Yeah. So she didn't get the transfer, long and short of it. And so the next slot for transfer was August.
And the
You
wedding
transfer
was?
in the middle of a town.
Yeah.
The wedding was?
March, going April. So
So
we come back home in April,
Wow.
and we have up to August.
Yes.
Bye. Then he said the Baba. I think nobody understands the struggle of a man being told to choose between wife and mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go tell your mother or go tell your wife. Is not a statement any president in this world can handle anything. It doesn't matter what you have on your CV. It doesn't matter how many negotiating skills you have.
Yes.
This one is a no-go zone. And so it was tough. And I think
And in the first year.
and this was the first month.
First month of marriage.
I thought they were friends because they even lived together at one point
They
when I
were
was out of the
friends.
country.
They're
They
not
were
enemies.
friends.
Yeah.
They were friends, but not
That.
friends.
Yes.
In marriage. Not when marriage, and that's what you were saying at the beginning. Actually, the
Yes.
past.
Yes.
Once you get married, there's just things that change.
Shifting
And-
happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the conflict.
Oh, conflict. Good.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
our biggest conflict, I
All
think,
right.
that we've ever had.
Sema jina lako? No.
Rose Ewagata, close relative of David Ewagata for now. And married for 20 years. 3 children later, and grateful to God for giving us the opportunity to walk this journey of marriage with different curveballs, as we had talked about last time. That life can throw curveballs at you, and our first curveball was in our first year of marriage. That we had planned. The expectation was that we will get married, come back to our nice honeymoon home with all the privacy, just the two of us, like we've always dreamt to be when people are planning to marry. They just want to be the two of them. Yeah, and you have left your father and mother, and I have left my father and mother, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And our mother.
That bubble was burst by the fact that, the circumstances were that she could not leave. She could not leave the house. She had to be around.
Yeah.
Because
And
she
it
had
didn't make sense to rent a house for 3 months.
Yes.
So let's just
For
say-
him,
Yeah.
that's his take.
Oh yes, that's
Yeah. So
The way I saw
yes.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
for him, it
The way you
didn't make
looked at
sense.
it.
the way I saw it.
To move.
There was no need. It's the same way that for the way they were seeing it, one is saying we can rent a hotel for mother-in-law.
Yes.
And the wife is like,
Say that,
my
you
mother
Hapa.
stays in the house.
Kwa hii nyumba.
She's my
Yeah.
mom.
Yes.
She's my mother. Come rain or shine. We will
Anakaa
share the
hapa.
house.
Yes.
It's interesting too.
I didn't explain
Okay, well,
explain,
yes, sorry.
explain.
Yeah, go on,
why
go
it
ahead.
was
Go
an
ahead.
issue.
Yes.
It was an issue because, of course, now there's no married couple that plans to get married to move in with their parents,
The Indians.
unless you are Indian,
Okay.
which is cultural.
I was Indian, you don't know in my bloodline. But there in my
Some
bloodline,
random
I'm
background, you are
little
Indian.
man. I'm little Indian.
So the expectations that you have placed on your bride, that we're getting married, we're going to move out, we're going to be on our own. And so that expectation was not met. Circumstances were different, in a big way beyond our control. But it took a while for me to just accept that, this is the reality.
Tuko hapa.
Tuko hapa.
Kwa mema ni yeye, Mungu,
Yeah.
na
But
mother-in-law.
he's very comfortable because that's his home. That's where he has grown up with. That's his mother. He has lived with her all his life. And so for him, he was in a comfort zone. For me, it was a new space. I was the newcomer into that space. And I needed to adjust to that new space. Without feeling, that feeling of I'm being watched. Mother-in-law is seeing whether I'm feeding. Am I
Mark.
Yeah, I make a match.
Checklist.
That advertisement that used to happen a while back about the mother-in-law who comes in and with a white glove
With and goes
and
like,
just- So you want to just be able to get into that new space without feeling like you're being watched or you're being judged, or and you're free to be you.
Yeah.
A place where you're comfortable. So for me, that was a great challenge. And he says we were good friends. We were good friends, as daughter and mother. But as mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, that was a new space. And so we needed to get space to define that relationship afresh. And so, and of course, her being in her home, she was treating us like her children.
And you wanted to treat it as your house.
Yes, and it's her house.
Yes.
So she has to determine what we're going to eat, what's going to happen in the
house.
house. It's her house. It's not my house.
Yes.
So it put me in a place of crisis. So who am I in this house, and how do I behave?
We also trying to adjust to just being married. We are trying to, make that grid come together. We are bringing our backgrounds, but now my background is not just in the background. My background is
in the present, right here.
And so we are dealing with all these things at the same time. And so I think it stretched us because, of course, when conflict happens, conflict doesn't leave one innocent person. It drags everyone in. So I come in, she's upset, she's nil by mouth. I'm like, what's going on? She can't say because she can't point a finger at her mother-in-law.
I can't help making
my mom is trying to figure out how is this going. Is she happy when she's gone to her room, or is she gone to her room because she's objecting to the fact that mom is in the kitchen? I'm just like, Gaza Strip is safer.
Send me there, please.
I'll come back in August.
She cut the tension with her life. And
And then serve it with ice cream.
Like, she didn't do anything. Like, there was no conflict. Like, she didn't do anything to offend me. Just the whole tension of just being in a place where I don't understand who I am anymore, and what am I supposed to be doing?
Or what is your space there now?
How am I supposed to be part of this? Do I just join in as one of the children and flow? But I'm not one of the children. I'm a married woman now. I'm supposed to be, a wife. How do I express
it's supposed to be her
myself,
home,
my role as
but
a
it
wife?
has
It's
been
not
her
my
home.
home.
What it did for us in retrospect is that it pushed us to such a deep end place of conflict and struggle, and having to deal with and navigate such choppy waters, that when we were done with that season, any other thing that came seemed easy. In this scenario of the couple where the mother-in-law is coming, now it will go back to the previous conversation, tradition.
Yes.
There are families where the mother-in-law is sacred, and so she can't just come into the house and be in a particular space. In our culture, she can't be in the same. Actually, even in tradition, full tradition, she can't be in the same room with my dad. Now, my granddad can come and sleep anywhere in the house. But my dad cannot come in close proximity. In fact, they should not even share the same table for a meal. That is how it was traditionally. So you might find that this guy is dealing with a tradition that has been so highly held in their family.
All right, and it's interesting because that has laid a foundation for a discussion as far as in-laws are concerned. You see, to others, it's such a pain. There are couples who are married and the in-laws, I mean, I can't stand my mom-in-law, I can't stand my dad-in-law. For such a scenario, what are some of the things that they need to, begin to reconcile? Because you see, there are some who have been said, merusha mkono, na kasema, you know what? It is your parents, you deal with them. And me, when I'm here, to deal to at this level. So how do you handle such a dicey situation?
I think for many of us, because we know the people we have lived with, our family, we know them. We know they are good, bad, and ugly. So, and this person didn't grow in our house. They don't know that side of the family that I know.
The crazy brother.
And so, because of that, it's
the
very
weird uncle.
the weird uncle. I know the personality of my mom. I might have real loyalty to my mom as my mother, because she's going to give back to me. But I know that she's not perfect. I know that she has her side. She can be this or that. And because I know them very well, then I need to be to help my husband to sort of be the negotiator, be the intermediary between them, to ensure harmony, because I'm the one who knows. In the case where I need to defend him from them, I need to play my role in terms of being the one who communicates.
But that does not mean that now I become the guy who says, hey, Wambie, tell them, tell them.
For sure.
And basically be the antagonist.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that happens, where because the husband feels, you know what, now I can push the limits, or the wife feels, then they now push limits. Oh, we can't give your mom money, we can't take care of this, we can't 1, 2, 3. And so instead of forging harmony, we are now causing a lot more conflict. And
we come with that there's an essence of, there's an aspect of me coming with my people, and you and your people. So whatever we do for your people must be done for my people.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to support your parents, then you must support my parents too. There's no way of going
even if they are wealthy.
You're sending this, you're sending X here, it has to be X here.
But you know, life is not a script that way. That the need that might be here might not be the need that is there. These ones might need financial assistance. Those ones may need just our support in terms of presence, being there to take them, maybe drop or pick take them to hospital, or just take care of a different need in the home.
And so rather than put the boundaries, put the bridges, build the bridges that help these relationships become healthy.
You know the drill.
So that you know that my mom-in-law knows she's
husbands
welcome.
once more.
Even if we don't have room in the house like this couple,
As we conclude,
but she
briefly,
knows,
30 seconds.
Mom, we're going to give you the best that we can have. And when he's putting her up in this hotel, he's not saying, no, you're not coming to stay with us. He's saying, we want to make you comfortable. We'll pick you. If you want us to pick you at 6 in the morning, bring you to the house, spend the day. So she knows this is being done in honor. And because the husband may be trying to honor, it may also be because the husband understands the distance that needs to be there and that is appropriate. And so being able to know that I'm championing my wife's family as I champion mine. She's championing her family as she champions mine. We are celebrating this union. And that is why when you're getting married, your family is there to represent where you're coming from and to send you into your house and celebrate you and be part of that. Because whenever you have need, whenever you have crisis, these are the guys who will come. Even when you're celebrating, when you have children, and this happens a lot for the women especially. When you have your first child, your mother becomes your encyclopedia. That's when suddenly you realize that she knows many things. And so if we have antagonized her, whether corporately or I have told her to put her away, what happens when now you have this child? And then we've also put my mom on a leash. What happens? What I want to say, and I know we have run through this, the in-laws are not antagonists. What they are trying to do is make the best. The problem is that they are trying to make the best of a situation they are not in. So they just feel this is gonna work. This is gonna work. This is beautiful. This is the best this is the best thing that can happen. This is the school you need to take your children. This is the kind of house you need to live in. This is where you need to build your. And they're thinking the best for you. I don't think there's a mother who sits somewhere and thinks, I want to mess up my daughter's marriage, or I want to mess up my son's marriage. No, they're thinking actually what we are offering is great. Yes. And so you need to be able to understand that.
We're coming to the close. Speak to the husbands.
The Bible says, for this reason a man shall leave his father and mother. Rose has just mentioned it. It's very specific, a man. because of just the intricacy of the man still being part of the same family after they get married. For a woman, she leaves her family and joins this family, leaves her name behind, takes the husband's name, and so in many ways the woman is already delinked from her family. If she was living across the city or across the country in another village, she leaves that village, carries her things. In fact, they give you a bed, they give you all these symbolic things to tell you, you are no longer coming back here. You are done, and now go to this family. And so for the man, the intricacy of being in that space, learn to guard your wife. Not foolishly, because sometimes you can find that she's actually on the wrong. But learn to guard your wife. If push comes to shove, I tell people, if push comes to shove, I love my mother, I love my sisters, I love my father, I love my village mates, but I'm not married to any of them. I'm married to this woman. This is a covenant relationship that I've made. And so knowing that, with all due respect, with all effort made to reconcile things, when all is said and done, this is my future, that is my past. Now it's a tough thing to say, and it's even tougher to deal with the nitty-gritties of moving the pieces to make sure that the future is secured and the past is celebrated. And so those are the two things you do: secure your future, celebrate your past, honor your parents, scriptural, but cleave to your wife. Love her wholeheartedly. She's the one who can have up to half your kingdom. She's the one who bears your children. And so having that place of guarding your spouse, and not just from in-laws, guarding your spouse as a person, guarding her from even herself, when she's in a place where she may not want to do some things because she feels, no, I'm not able. You're the one to celebrate her and cheer her on. And so putting her in that place where she feels celebrated, celebrate her. Be her greatest cheerleader. Walk with her and pray for her.
Ladies, I think we've been given that privilege to be the ones who are given that flexibility. Let's just say the flexibility to live and come into this new space. I think one important thing as a woman is to know your place, to understand the different relationships and the level of relationships that you are getting into. You will never be his mother. You will never be his sister, but you are his wife. And that is an important place. Being his mother is an important place. The sisters are also important. The brothers are also important. But your value is, you need to know your value. You need to know your importance in this relationship. Being insecure is not going to help. Have a healthy sense of self and your role and position into that new space that you're going into. So you're not in competition with the mother, with the mother-in-law, for love, for affection, because a mother and their child will always have a bond. There's a bond that a mother has with their child that you don't have with him. And so you need to acknowledge and accept that aspect of that. He has a bond with his mother, that because one day when you become a mother, then you begin to see why that relationship is strong. And therefore acknowledging that there are other intricate, close relationships around this marriage that is the closest is helpful in giving you peace, and giving you a sense of security in the fact that your husband loves you. And it might not be equally, but it is love. So you can't rate the love and say he loves me, he loves his mother more than he loves me. How do you rate the love that a man gives?
All right, and unfortunately we have to stop there. Thank you so much for the wonderful discussion and the insights that you've given, especially letting us in your conflict, major conflict here at the beginning of your marriage. But you can keep this conversation going on our social media pages at Picha Safi Productions, KE, at Picha Safi Productions, KE, across all platforms, that is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Use hashtag for better, for worse. we also would like to offer you the support that you need. In case you're there and you're wondering, how do I move from here? I'm in this situation. It could be as far as in-laws are concerned, or whatever else that you're facing in your marriage. There is help. You do not have to suffer it alone. So reach out to us, drop us your contacts on our inbox, and we'll be able to reach out. There's a team that will pray with you, counsel with you, and walk with you, because God intended that your marriage thrives and your marriage works for His glory. We'd also like to hear your feedback. Please, on the comment section below, just give us feedback. Let us know. It will be such a blessing to go through the feedback and be able to respond to it as we go along. Join us again next week on Sunday as we engage on yet another discussion. And this one, I promise you, you do not want to miss.